Woo! It is windy. So we've come down off the mountains. We're now down at Ardvreck Castle. Now it's really windy, so I'm kind of hoping you can hear me pretty well. It is stunning. There's this light that's just behind me here. There's a cloud just covering it, and what's happening is I'm getting this beautiful light on the mountain over here. And when we arrived, there's a lovely glow of light on the actual castle, which is just behind me over here. And literally as soon as we got here set up, it was gone, which is always the case. So we're just waiting to see if that cloud's gonna kind of come away, and if it does move down, which the wind's kind of pushing it that way, but it's just very slow, then hopefully all this will come back into light. And if it does, that castle will look stunning. So the issue we have right now is where we are. We're shooting straight onto the castle with the mountain behind, so it's all blending into one. It doesn't look as good. Especially as the fact that behind they have that red heather that's growing, the castle blends into it. So I need that light to come through, shine on the mountain behind, shine on behind the castle, and if possible, a little bit on the castle, to give it that 3D effect so that it stands out. And I feel this might be a wee bit of a waiting game. So thermals are on, everything all layered up, got coffee in the car, gonna wait it out and see what happens. I was originally shooting with my 70-200 and just having the castle and the background of the mountain, which I really did like, but I am liking this dramatic cloud that's happening over here. The sun is just shining up over here, Joe's down there, and I'm waiting just for that light to just break through over there. So I've got my polarizer filter on, a 2-stop soft grad is on there from Lee. As you may see, it is the old original Lee filter holder because the polarizer, my last one, has broken. So that's a bit of a pain. Oh, look at that light. It's quite blown out here on this camera, but that looks so nice. So it's just a waiting game. At the moment, settings wise, ISO's at 250, f16, 30th of a second, and I'm doing a 3-stop bracket, yeah. And then that's coming out over there. So I am shooting quite wide with the mountain and the castle in the middle, because I am thinking that this is probably going to look really good as a panoramic. So just having a little bit of water, land, and the sky above. This has just been a fantastic day. It's been so nice to get out. I just feel that energy and that buzz coming from shooting landscapes. It's just amazing, and I need that because, you know, we've got a busy few weeks coming up, going off to the Faroe Islands for a workshop in April, and then we have my first workshop up here. We've got 4 people coming up here to spend the week with me, the 5 days up here, so I'm really looking forward to that. If only snow is here, but I don't think it's going to have snow. So we've been waiting here for almost an hour. That light is just starting to come. It is coming in between the castle and the mountain, shining up the mountain, which is really good. I've decided to change and go back with the 70-200. I really wish I brought my second camera, could have done both, but I'm liking how it's just going to be portrait, I think, mainly with the castle in the background. Downside though is the focus on my 70-200 is completely shot, and I'm having to manually focus it, and it's really stiff. I've got to really tightly grip it to spin it around to get it focused on. So that's been a bit of a pain, but I think I've got it sharp enough now. And it's, again, just still waiting here. Considering it's been an hour, I'm quite surprised I'm warm, but I've had a cup of coffee since then. So while we wait here, let me discuss with you the Lee 100 polarizer. So past videos I've talked about this when Lee upgraded their filter holders and the polarizer filter. I wasn't convinced, I wasn't overly happy. I liked the original, it was solid, it was just really nice to use. And then I bought the new one and I had to buy the polarizer with a bracket on it because there wasn't any brackets. They were out of stock and it's a whole palaver, and I've never just been 100% happy. Since then I'm having to replace almost all my filters now because they're scratched. You know, they've got the scratch down the middle, which is a pain in the bum. But let's talk about this Lee 100 polarizer and what's happened to it. One of the issues I've had with the Lee 100 filter polarizer is getting it on and off the actual filter holder. It clamps in and then it gets stuck. And what's happened is trying to get it off has been such a nightmare. You know, you're supposed to squeeze it in and pull it out, and it just wasn't doing it. And what's happened is I've had to put my finger behind it a little bit to put a little bit of pressure to squeeze and pop out. And eventually what's happened is, that's not going to do it, but the rings, there's a loose ring in here, and what happens is that keeps it in place. But as you can see, it comes apart very, very easily. And I'm trying to stick it back in and it's just not happening, so I'm going to have to send it back to Lee to see if they can fix it. There we go. So it goes back in fine, but then I have to then, you know, any sort of pressure on it, or if I knock it, the whole thing comes off. So that's a bit of a pain. I think this is finished. The clouds have just come in from the west coast. It's looking very dark. Not much detail in the sky, unfortunately, so there's no more light coming in. I think I'm pretty confident that's it gone. I'm gonna wait it out. There is snow and hail that looks like it's coming in, so I'm gonna wait until that comes and then see what it does. It might give me something. Joe, he's left. He's had enough. He's now going to start heading home. Very likely after this picture, I think I'm going to head home as well. So from here, I've got about 3 hours and 45 minutes to drive home. So it's been a cracking day. It's just been brilliant. It's been well worth leaving early in the morning. I slept so well in the back of that car last night. Folded the seats down, laid out. Good sleeping bag. Great. And it's just been a really nice day out doing some landscape photography, which has really been missing for a long time. And you know, Joe and I have been planning more, so that'd be quite good. And I'm pretty confident. I think I've got at least one photograph that I want to print, which is kind of the aim, is to come get a shot and then hopefully have something that I can then print at home and for my calendar for the end of the year as well. So because my calendar this year was sold a lot more than what I expected, so that gives me that boost to do it more. So yeah, I come back here. Well, I come back here officially in about 3 weeks to do a little workshop. 4 people coming, and I'm very excited to show them this area. It's just such a beautiful place. It's a hidden gem. This spot here, you know, you do get a lot of photographers and you do get a lot of tourists, but I think majority of the most photographers, unless you're really serious, don't come here. Most of them tend to stay further south, Skye. They don't tend to venture up this far, which is a shame because it is stunning. So you just need to know. I suppose the best thing about this is there's so many little nooks and crannies, hidden waterfalls, little hidden valleys, you know, a 20-minute walk here, an hour walk there, and you have these fantastic places. So it's really, really good. Some clouds coming over now, so I'm going to see if I can try and get a shot of that. I'm going to sleep well tonight, that's for sure, when I get home. Been thinking a lot about landscape photography. As I said before, I've kind of fallen out of love. I fell out of love with it for a while. You know, almost a year and a half. I just didn't want to create any landscapes. I put that down to the fact that my weddings really consumed a lot of my time and family, and it became very difficult to get out. And it's this and running is my de-stress. You know, this is my when I need to get away from everything. I love going out and taking pictures. So not having this has really not been good for my mental health, and not good for the soul, to be honest. So I've been thinking a lot about what I want to do with my landscape photography, and whether I want to keep it as a hobby. Do I want to turn it more into a business again, which, you know, if you didn't know from before, I used to run quite a lot of workshops and one-to-ones, and I stopped doing it really to concentrate on the weddings. I like the idea of doing some more and just slowly building it up over the next couple of years. We have a very interesting life plan the next 4 years. My other half's gone back to university, so she's going to be doing that for 3.5, 4 years, and then it's, do we move to the Faroe Islands after that? Do we stay in Scotland? We don't know, but the Faroes are looking very likely. I can't wait to move there. It'd be fantastic. So it's been very strange. Everything's been on the back burner, but now we're starting to get a good bit of structure in our lives now that Iris is at uni and the boys have got childcare, and I can start getting out and taking more pictures. But thinking about what I want to do and how landscape photography works, you know, Joe and I were discussing this, that we find that a lot of landscape pictures are taken to be shown on social media. They're taken to get likes, to get hits, this sort of stuff. People find it very difficult to sell photographs, and my personal opinion, I think that the images that a lot of people take to put on social media are not the sort of pictures that you'll put in your house. People want calming photographs. They want, you know, fine art photographs, you know, almost simplicity sometimes, good black and whites. You know, they don't want to have bright colors and vibrant scenes. They want calming kind of pastel tones and this sort of stuff. So, you know, as me and Joe were saying, you know, look, go into somewhere like IKEA or a home shop where they sell this sort of stuff, and look at the photographs that they sell. They tend to be calming oceans, lakes, seas, things like this. You know, people want this nice image to be in their house, that when they look at it, it's going to relax them. So that's something I want to really look at in terms of my photography. I want to create the pictures to put on social media to share, but I also really want to start selling my pictures. And now that I've got my own printer at home, that is really starting to appeal to me. And I actually uploaded a photograph just the other day there of the snow. Actually, tell that I uploaded a story of the print I made of this photograph in the snow, and we had 4 people ask me if they can buy it, and that was really nice. It was a really nice feeling. So I was like, yeah, of course, you know. So we got some prints done, and they bought them, and you know, I was very, very happy. So that's something I really want to look at and maybe test what sells and what doesn't sell, and work a little bit more towards that. But I think the route I'm going, I like the idea of cutting back my weddings and going back to doing some more workshops and one-to-ones and things like this. Although I don't like calling them workshops, I like calling them adventures. That's usually for me a little bit better.